Still no word on the cause of the house explosion in Firestone last week. A gas well was less than a football field away. Tonight, the company that owns it announces that it's shutting down 3,000 others just like it across northern Colorado.
Careless driving, distracted driving has become epidemic.
Tough new penalties passed for texting and driving in Colorado. So can you still grab your phone at a red light or when stopped on the highway?
I want to make sure that he's not where his family can visit him.
I want to make sure that he is miserable.
Prisoners secretly moved and families outraged the state won't tell them where those inmates went.
Investigators still try to pinpoint the cause of a house explosion in Firestone last week. The focus has shifted to an area about 200 feet from the home. The force of the explosion leveled the structure, killing 2 men and critically injuring a woman. In an open area near the house is an oil and gas well. It's been there since 1993, long before the neighborhood was built around it. Anadarko didn't drill the well, but they own it now, and tonight the company is helping investigate what happened to that house on April 17th.
Anadarko is voluntarily shutting down thousands of oil wells temporarily across northern Colorado, including the well that's closest to the house. Now, it might turn out that the old vertical well was not related to the explosion in the Oak Meadow subdivision, but Anadarko Petroleum's concerned enough about the possibility or the publicity that it's temporarily shutting down 3,000 similar wells until they're re-inspected. Family members of the 2 men killed in the explosion say they suspected it was an issue with a water heater. We went to an expert on energy production at the School of Mines to learn how the well could have been connected to the explosion.
Oil and gas has to move from that point to the house, and then it has to be there in sufficient quantities to explode at exactly the time that these people were working.
Will Fleckenstein, the expert you heard from there, said that experts will take gas samples from around the home. Much like a fingerprint, they should be able to tell them where the source of the gas resides, whether it came from the well or elsewhere in the ground beneath the home. Anadarko says that inspecting those 3,000 wells is going to take 2 to 4 weeks, perhaps longer, and that will include the well that's closest to the house explosion. There are hundreds in that same area actively producing oil and gas, not all owned by Anadarko. Company says it'll first focus on the wells near homes and businesses.
In the Oak Meadow subdivision, people are reminded every day about the explosion that killed their neighbors. Those who live nearby say they have been reassured they're safe.
Curiosity. A lot of curiosity, a lot of questioning. Fear, yeah, there was fear. I think the authorities have tried to calm us down.
Firestone Fire reiterates the origin and cause of the fire still have not been officially determined. They also say there is no threat to surrounding homes.
I was completely mind blown.
It's called Hidden in Plain View, and in short, it's
eye-opening.
I was completely mind blown.
This bedroom has over 70 items in it that should alert a parent to the fact that their child is involved in drug or alcohol abuse.
Some signs are obvious, like alcohol hidden in a jacket pocket. Some are much more secretive, looking like everyday items that belong in a teenager's room.
On this bookshelf alone, there's probably over 20 items. For instance, all of these cans, the tea, Red Bull, soda, these are all stash cans that are actually safes used to hide things. There's a slit that's been cut in this flip-flop, so somebody could literally walk out of their room with pills in their shoes. And a tea light candle on its own doesn't necessarily mean that your child's using drugs, so all this needs to be taken in context. But the tea light candle holders are one of the most popular ways that kids are cooking heroin today.
Visitors are challenged to find as many of the items as they can.
Write down the things that you find where they would stash drugs or alcohol, and at the end of it, there's an answer key in the back.
Katie Gailey took the challenge and was surprised when she learned her score.
I only got like 23. I thought I was doing pretty good, and then when I actually counted it down, I was like, oh, I didn't do very good at all.
Organizers say everyone who goes through the exhibit learns something. Gailey is no exception.
Letting your kids know that you can talk to them and you can communicate with them, and it can be an open conversation.
Research shows that kids who talk with their parents from a young age about the dangers of drugs are 50% less likely to use drugs. So parents can have a huge impact on the choices that their kids make.
Texting and driving. People do it, and more people are admitting to it, too. It's a dangerous trend leading to state leaders to pass tougher and more expensive penalties at the Capitol today. The strongest advocates for those new penalties, though, are saying there are certain times when grabbing a phone while driving is not breaking the law. 9 News reporter Victoria Sanchez explains what's changed and how getting caught could be costly and put a big hit on your driving record.
If you do this and get caught, you could pay a $50 ticket. A new bill could hike the fine to $300 and add 4 points to your driving record.
Careless driving, distracted driving has become epidemic.
State Senator Lois Court is one of the bill's sponsors and says it's not about collecting more money, but creating a deterrent. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, in 2015, nearly 3,500 people died from distracted driving. That includes eating, talking to people in the car, fiddling with the radio, and texting on the phone.
You know, you look down for even a second or two, a lot of things can happen.
Colorado State Patrol troopers write distracted driving tickets daily for multitasking behind the wheel.
They're going, you know, sometimes highway speeds, 75 miles an hour at 110 feet per second. You're covering a lot of ground.
While texting and actively driving remains unlawful, if the bill gets the governor's signature, texting while at a red light or stopped in traffic won't get you a ticket. Just make sure to be aware when the cars start moving.
That's not dangerous behavior. But if you're driving down the highway and you've got one hand on the wheel and you're doing this, that's dangerous behavior. And you're going to kill someone if you're not really careful. And it happens. It happens all too frequently.
We posted this story on our Facebook page and received more than 600 comments. Some hope the harsher punishment will prevent people from texting. Others don't believe the $300 fine is enough. We also got comments questioning if the law can be enforced consistently. Kim?
That's what we all wondered about. How do you enforce it? And that's the big concern. And then it's, if you're like a teenager, this might hurt a little bit more on your driving record.
Right. So this is 4 points if you get caught texting and driving. And if you're between the ages of 16 and 18, you only have 6 points to start out with for a 12-month period. And so if you get 2 of those texting while driving, you get your license suspended. When you get to 18 to 21, you have 9 points, and 21 and older, you have 12 points. So as you get older, you have a little bit more points. But if you're a teenager, you definitely want to put that phone down.
And $300 is $300.
That's a lot of money.
Doesn't matter what age you are. All right. Thank you, Victoria.
Whole Foods customers leaving the store with a lighter wallet and a weighty sense of self. Kidding, I shop there from time to time. Some of those customers in Littleton are getting an extra surprise. Photojournalist Chris Hansen turned his lens on the reason.
I think it's just one of those stories that everybody could feel good about.
Did you find everything okay today?
Whole Foods does a really good job of promoting and taking care of local brands.
This is the first year that she's come to this parking lot.
I just saw it out there. I was just like, what is this goose doing out here? And they said it's laying eggs, and I thought it was cool. We get to watch nature in action.
She seems pretty happy and content here.
Oh my God, she's so cute. And of all places that she picked to lay her eggs.
So we just came in one day and we saw 2 geese just kind of hovering around this area. And then on the next day, Tuesday, that's when we saw 3 eggs laid there.
So how much longer will it be before the eggs hatch?
It takes 25 days for the eggs to hatch. So we have a date of May 5th that we're looking to have some new babies in the parking lot. The dad goose, he's around.
It's been like a week that we haven't seen him.
Oh, there's Daddy Goose right across the street. He's over there checking us out.
He got hit by a car, so.
In his beginning of the 2nd week, he was limping around the parking lot quite a bit. Had some blood on his leg. After a while, he's been good. He's been walking around, doing well.
All right, like any good mama, she's protecting her nest.
And we've also learned that once they pick a nesting area and they like it, they'll come back for the next 20 to 25 years. Hopefully we're all here when they hatch and go on their way.
Good luck, Mama. Good luck, Mama Goose.
Stores coordinated with police and animal control to move the goose family to a nearby lake. Timing is right.